Patrick,
How you doing?
this is George Payton, Denver Broncos. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Are you excited?
Yes, sir.
Good.
I can't wait.
Can't wait to get you here. If you're half the player your dad was, we got a hell of a football player.
Yes, sir.
I was with your dad in Miami. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh man, he told me stories. I mean, I'm so excited right now, man. I can't.
Hey, all right, we're fired up. You're the guy we wanted all along. So we're going to turn the pick right now. You celebrate. Coach Fangio's going to come over here and say a few words, but we'll talk to you after. Celebrate. Enjoy your family. We're fired up, man, okay? And tell your dad I said hello. Here's Coach Fangio, okay?
Patrick.
How you doing, Coach?
Good. How are you? Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're very happy to get you. Didn't know if it would happen, but turned out our way.
Man, I'm so happy. I'm so excited.
And we got the best corner in the draft.
The best cornerback in the draft, according to Vic Fangio, lands in Denver. Welcome into Broncos Weekend, everybody. I'm Matt Boyer. Alexis Perry, Big Al, and voice of the fan from Cleveland will be along in just a moment. But as always, we start in studio with the Hall of Famer Steve Atwater. Steve, you heard the call. You had hands raised when the pick was made. What do you think? What did you think when you heard Patrick Surtain II?
I thought this is a win. There's nothing else that can go wrong today. We have one of the best corners. Now, there's another guy, Caleb Farley, who I thought was a good corner as well. He had back surgery. But Patrick Surtain, this is a win, a certain win. The guy can cover, especially on the outside. He can run. He's physical. He does everything you want to do. And he's a top corner. He's played against some top competition. So we're fortunate to get him at 9.
I know when we talked about corners a couple weeks ago, he was high. You were high on him.
Oh,
You loved the skills. You loved the way he used his hands. Unanimous first-team All-American Defensive Player of the Year in the SEC in 2020. The guy's got everything. But Steve, how did he get on the field?
That's going to be a challenge, but he's a competitor, and he grew up with his dad. I'm sure coaching all of his teams and giving them all the tips of a Pro Bowl NFL corner. He's got the tricks of the trade, and his dad has taught him well. So, if anybody can get on the field, Patrick Surtain II is going to be able to get on the field.
Steve, we have to address the elephant in the room, and that is quarterback was on the board. There were two good ones in Mac Jones. I know you like Mac Jones. A lot of people like Justin Fields.
Yeah, between the two, I would have definitely taken Justin Fields, and both of them were there. But, again, that says to me that, hey, we feel okay about Drew Lock. We are confident that Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater will be able to get the job done. And that's not saying that they may not draft a quarterback here in the second or third or fourth round, but at least for right now, we feel like we didn't draft a guy who extremely high, so we got to feel okay with the guys we have in the room.
How much of this pick, Steve, do you think speaks to where the NFL is going? We heard from Coach Fangio last week, 3 wide is becoming very, very common. You're in a nickel defense a lot of the time, dime defense. How is this where the NFL is headed? Do you need to have 4 or 5 good corners in order to survive in the NFL?
5 or 6.
Okay.
You got to, because you got to take into account injuries. We had a rash of injuries last year. Hopefully we won't ever have that many injuries again, significant injuries in the defensive backfield, specifically the cornerback position. So, I know Fangio, he doesn't ever want to go through that again. But, you definitely got to have, several corners and be deep at that position because, you're covering the fastest, speediest, most talented guys on the offensive side of the ball with those wide receivers, especially in our division. Man, we got the Chiefs, we got the Raiders, and we have who's the other team in our division?
The Chargers.
The Chargers.
Come on, Steve.
Yeah, but the Chargers, they haven't been as strong. They got a strong quarterback. We got to have the corners that can cover, and adding Surtain to the room is going to be a shot in the arm.
So corner, Steve, got that covered. Day 2 now. Okay, let's look ahead a little bit. What else? What did the Broncos need to address?
You don't need to ask this. You already know my answer.
No, it's going to be linebacker.
Thank you.
It's going to be linebacker. Why? Yeah, I know you like Nick Bolton from Missouri. I know there's a lot of other needs. So you want to see the Broncos address linebacker, tackle maybe? Where are we going here?
Yeah, tackle at some point. Not with 2 though. For me,
we're talking, and this can be this can be Friday or this can be Saturday.
Okay. Oh,
so
yeah.
To the end of the draft, 6 more rounds.
Okay. definitely linebacker, safety. And I'm like, Al, we got to get a running back at some point. Don't know if I want him in the second round, but I definitely want to add a running back to the room for some depth. And then I'll still add another interior defensive lineman, another just super nasty guy who, got good stuff off the field. But man, when he gets on the field, he's a monster. And I know a lot of people want another offensive lineman. I'm okay if we roll it just with the offensive lineman that we have, although, hey, some contracts are coming up.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of money that's going to be freed up. But, we can address that next year.
A lot of interesting moves still left, Steve. A lot of stuff to cover, and we'll be covering it all the way up until the last pick is made for the Denver Broncos. We've got to take a quick break, but when we come back on Broncos Weekend, Steve, talking to Big Al. Big Al's in the house.
Yeah, that's my man there. Yes, looking forward to hearing what he has to say.
He's got a lot to say about what the Broncos did in the first round. Plus, Alexis Perry is here with Voice of the Fan. Don't go anywhere.
Field is a wide out.
Man, quarterback draw.
Or go to the tight end. They almost one-handed it. Surtain was there, number 2 on number 2. And it's incomplete.
Welcome back to Broncos Weekend, everybody. This week on Voice of the Fan, an in-studio interview between Steve Atwater and Alfred Williams. Big Al is weighing in on the Broncos' first-round pick and what he'd like to see the Broncos do in the later rounds.
Alfred Williams, thank you for joining us on the show again today, my good friend.
Oh, it's good to be here, man. It's good to be here. It's always good to be here because I know this is where championships live.
That's right. All right, NFL draft, first pick of the draft. What did you think of the pick?
I'm not going to lie. I really wanted to see Justin Fields here, but what the Broncos are telling everybody out there in Bronco country is that our quarterback room is good. And they have confidence in that room with Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock.
Who's saying that?
That's the coachings. That's the coaches
okay.
and management. I mean, really, that's coaches and management that are telling you that the quarterback room is good. It's solid. So you don't need to improve that room. There could have been an improvement with all the discussions about Aaron Rodgers out there, and who knows how things are going to go down the line. But I do believe that the Denver Broncos did a solid job selecting Surtain because I do believe that he will be a guy that's going to profile as really a Pro Bowl guy down the line. At 6'2", 200 pounds, 4.41 speed. I think that he's the kind of guy that can handle big receivers. And in this league, you're going to have the guys that are going to be able to handle small receivers, and you need guys who can handle big receivers.
Yeah. So at what point do you think he'll get on the field? I mean, will you think by week 1 he'll be a starter, or do you think he'll be contributing by week 1?
I think that he'll be on the field contributing, but I think it's mostly early on going to be on special teams because our cornerback unit is one of the strongest units on this team, if not the strongest. Our secondary in general is a strong unit, and it just got even stronger. But we got 2 guys that are on 1-year deals, and you just cannot afford to not have quality cornerbacks when you're in a division with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. Now, rolling back around to the quarterback situation, what do you think was going through Drew Lock's mind when we selected Patrick Surtain II?
I think he was nervous.
You think so?
I would have been nervous. I would have been nervous because it would have absolutely told me they hate me.
Oh, really?
Right. If you draft a quarterback in the first round, you're telling everybody that your quarterback isn't good enough to play in this business, and we want to move to this guy eventually.
Okay.
And that's the way I would have looked at it if I was Drew Lock. So I think it's a vote of confidence. But don't forget now, this quarterback competition is real when you consider that Teddy Bridgewater walked into that room. So nobody's saying that Drew Lock is the starting quarterback. Nobody's saying that Teddy Bridgewater is the starting quarterback. We're going to have us a true competition this year, and I'm happy for it.
Now, question is, would you get a quarterback at a later round in this year's draft?
Well, of course, I love Kyle Trask, the outstanding quarterback from Florida. I mean, the guy is just unbelievable. And maybe a lot of people don't know who he is, but when you start seeing these wide receivers and tight ends come off the board for Florida, there was a guy that was a trigger man for them that was absolutely outstanding. And I do believe, though, that he has a chance to be one of the real stars out of this draft. Kind of like a guy like Brett Favre, who wasn't drafted in the first round but ended up being a Hall of Famer. I think Kyle Trask has that kind of ability to make good, solid decisions and accurate throws.
You know, it's crazy because you say that, and then if a guy goes out and has a great career, you wonder, why didn't teams draft him? You know, why wasn't Tom Brady drafted in the first round? Because people, they don't know. They don't have this down to a science. And that's the funny part about the draft. Nobody really knows who's going to be the superstars of tomorrow.
Well, it depends on fit. It really depends on fit. If you are a coaching staff that don't know how to get the best usage out of a player, then the player is going to look like a bust. And that's the truth. And I hate that we have to go through this whole process. And, you know, it's not like, you know, we're saying that the players are good and all the coaches are bad. But if the fit isn't there, and it's just really hard. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, if a Hall of Fame safety, if they took a Hall of Fame safety like yourself and told you, you know, this week we're playing you as a slot corner. Mm-hmm. You know, that's just not a good fit. Right. Even though we know that you're a Hall of Fame player, playing you in slot corner is probably not the right thing to do if you're trying to do the best thing for you. Yeah. So fit is important in this league, just as important as the talent that's out there on the field.
Okay. Now, last question, Al. What do you think is the position most needed to be addressed going forward in these next 6 rounds of the draft for the Broncos?
Running back.
Running back?
Running back.
Oh, whoa.
Running back.
Oh, whoa. Tell me more about this.
Well, I mean, we got a guy in Melvin Gordon who has got 1 year left of guaranteed money, and then he's gone. So we had a guy in Phillip Lindsay who was his backup. That's gone. So at some point here, you're going to have to make a decision about what kind of runner that you want and get that guy some carries, because next year he's going to be the man.
So you think that's the top need?
The top need? You said some of the needs. You didn't say top need. I would say the top need is linebacker.
Okay.
You know,
Nick Bolton from Missouri.
Yeah, now we could possibly get him in the second round.
Yeah.
So that's possible. That's a possibility that I'm looking forward to. But overall, Water, I'm just happy right now that we have a solid player. But I am not going to lie. I'm going to be watching the play of Fields my entire life because
we had the opportunity to get him.
We had him right there for us at our disposal. And, you know, this is no slight to Surtain, but I got to tell you, it's just rare that you get a guy with that kind of pedigree, that kind of arm strength, that kind of mobility, and he falls to number 11.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. I just don't believe that the right things were done today in the NFL draft. Not at number 3, not at number 9, not at number 10. Yeah. I think the guy is a top 2 player in this league.
Yeah, I thought so too, and we'll see over the coming years what type of player he becomes. But for now, Alfred, thank you, my man.
My man.
Looking good as always. I appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk soon, maybe.
No doubt.
Our thanks to Big Al for taking some time with us this week. When we come back on Broncos Weekend, Alexis Perry is bringing us Voice of the Fan, this time from Cleveland, on the ground from the NFL Draft from one of Broncos country's finest. Don't go anywhere. Cleveland is the center of the football world this weekend, and it's also where you'll find Broncos superfan Ron Katz. This week on Voice of the Fan, Alexis Perry and Steve Atwater are checking in with Ron for an on-the-ground report from the NFL Draft.
Thanks so much, Matt. We are so glad now to be joined by Ron Katz. Ron, the Super Bowl superfan, as many of you already know him, coming at us from Cleveland, Ohio. Ron, you were obviously in the inner circle last night. How are things going?
It's a run.
Exhausted. It was amazing last night. The inner circle was so much fun, and everyone had a great time.
Oh man, so tell us more about the inner circle. What's that all about, man? What all you guys doing out there?
Well, the inner circle, Steve, is a bunch of super avid super fans like myself. My friend Holly, who's from the Cleveland area and flies out to Denver for games, was there. Our friend Randy, aka Poncho, the super fan, was there, and so many others were there, and we just had a blast. And I will also say too, there was a great synergy because coming out of the pandemic, people really, there was just a much different vibe. I've been to 4 of these, and it was just incredible. Fans from other teams interacting, and just like family. Football is family, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Well, you were there when you heard Roger Goodell say the Denver Broncos select Patrick Surtain, cornerback, Alabama. What was your initial reaction?
I was excited because I knew Patrick's an amazing player, but I'll let you all in on a little secret. Some of our friends have said we kind of looked a little puzzled at the pick,
Yeah.
or surprised, or a little
Alexis did
delayed.
too.
But here's what everyone was thinking. We've all heard the Aaron Rodgers news, and so everyone, the clock was ticking in our heads. San Francisco picked a quarterback, so Denver's going to go quarterback, and so that was the reason for the delay. But Patrick's an amazing player. If you saw him at Alabama, and Alabama DBs are amazing.
How do you think he'll fit in with this current group? We have Ronald Darby, Kyle Fuller, of course, Bryce Callahan, Michael Ojemudia. How do you think he'll fit here in Denver?
Oh, fit excellent. You can never have enough defensive backs if you're playing the Chiefs, and then you got Justin Herbert and with the Chargers and so forth. And the other thing too is I believe 3 of them are on 1-year, 3 of the vets are on 1-year contracts. So, you have to think to the future, and George Payton's really thinking not just about this year, but where we're going.
Man knows his stuff.
I try.
What are your expectations here tonight, Ron? Round 2 underway. Broncos, they're picking 40th overall tonight. What do you think they're going to do with their second-round pick?
I have no idea. I mean, there's a lot of different types of needs. I think some of the North Carolina running backs could be on the target, but you might see some of like Kellen Mond, the quarterback from Texas A&M. Who knows? I trust the process. Everything George has done so far has been with what's the next step and the next step, rather than let's just try to fill one need and hope it's good.
Let's ask this question then. What do you want to do if you were up there making a selection? Like, Ron, you GM, put on your GM hat here. Who are you going to select?
You want to laugh? The best player available.
Okay.
Okay. The good old, see, I know it's cliche-ish, but I love my Broncos, okay? But I can look at the last 4 seasons records and see where we are, and I know where we want to get back to where we were. So, the more talent, the better talent. And you don't want to overthink it and reach for a guy who could be available like in the 4th round or 5th round in the 2nd or 3rd. And that's how you nail it.
Okay.
Right. It would be nice to see the Broncos get back to their historically winning ways. Ron, before we
will.
let you go, really quick, what is on the docket for the rest of the weekend as you're down there representing Broncos country?
Well, I'm going to be meeting up. This is the best part of these kinds of things, is you make so many friendships with other fans from other cities. I'm meeting up with some of my Texans friends. I met up with Patriots friends. And the other thing too, I should be remiss to say, this is my other little pet project.
There we go.
I want to get Mr. Gradishar in the Hall of Fame where he belongs. I met him at a Denver Broncos QB Club event a few years ago, and I said, this will be my mission. And if you saw me on TV, on network TV last night, when we made the Surtain pick, I was the crazy one dancing in the Gradishar jersey with. I was hoping the NFL wouldn't tell me to leave, but just having fun and the camaraderie with the other fans is kind of the answer. And it's just an honor to represent the Broncos. And big thanks to Ted Santiago and Patrick Smythe and those folks. And also, I just want to give a quick shout out. Just this isn't Broncos country anymore. It's Broncos world. Like
Yes.
the folks over in Ireland who are promoting us with Broncos Europe and Irish NFL, and just I go to Super Bowl host cities and I meet Broncos fans everywhere, and I run into them at Broncos games when they're visiting, and or see them at other Super Bowl weeks. So it's an honor, and go Broncos.
We go Broncos.
Thank you so much, Ron. There's no doubt you're one of the most passionate fans in all of Broncos world, as you like to call it. We so appreciate you taking the time. Have so much fun here as round 2 gets underway.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm really honored.
Thank you, Ron. Appreciate you.
Matt, back to you.
Appreciate you.
Our thanks to Ron for being on the ground and in person repping Broncos country there on the shores of Lake Erie in Cleveland. That'll do it for us today on Broncos Weekend. I'm Matt Boyer. So long, Broncos country. We will see you next week.